Damn it. Hey. Houston Rockets. We got 4.
Number 4.
Foe. Victor, what's your mama's name? Going to San Antonio Spurs. We called it in our video yesterday. We were like, he's probably going to the Spurs. He's probably going to end up with Popovich. And like even Adrian Wojnarowski said, he goes, "Oh, they have a brand new facility. It's kind of like they planned he was coming there." And it's just like
as a basketball fan, and we couldn't get him. I'm glad he ended up there because I think they'll develop him. Yeah. So that's good for basketball. I just wanted him on our team.
I just wanted a top 2 pick. I feel like
I'm with you.
Every draft we've gotten shafted on. Cade, oh no, we got second.
Paolo,
the next one, Paolo. No, we got third. Now we got 4th. It's like, damn, we can't get a first. Like,
we get no luck around this bitch.
I don't even want to look at the draft no more. Just get it, start trading and everything. I mean, I guess looking at it, we got the 4th pick. Their projection is one of the Thompson twins that we're getting.
I think that Scoot is still in play at number 4. Because Portland don't need a point guard. Charlotte don't need a point guard.
Yeah, I was about to look. I was kind of like Charlotte definitely. I think, honestly, Portland probably end up going to go with Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's projected number 2 and they need a big man. He's not a scrub. Dude can ball. And then that talks with Charlotte. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, because if the only problem is I don't want them to trade out, but I doubt it because they need every help they can get.
Yes, like that's the team that really has no talent. And they have big, so I don't think they need a big. But it's like, is Lonzo Ball and Scoot a good fit next to each other? I don't think so.
That's terrible. I would not want that at all. But I mean,
so to me, it's like, is it possible that the Asir Thompson, who's the more shot creator and scorer in play for them?
I could see it.
Well, I just feel like you got Lonzo. You're probably going to get back Bridges. You drafted a bunch of bigs recently. You got Rozier, so you got 2 point guards on that team. I heard a rumor of a trade where they get DeRozan. So, like, a small forward would fit that team. So, if Brandon Miller's off the board at 2, then you probably go Asir Thompson at 3, which leaves Scoot there, or Amen Thompson, both point guards for us at 4. So, there's a strong possibility we still might get what we want.
Yeah, I mean, in the end of it, of course, Victor was the prize. And it seems as a Houston fan, when it comes to drafts, we don't get the prize we want, but we end up with the right prize anyway. So I'm looking forward to it.
I feel that way too, bro. It's like,
I mean, we look at basketball. We didn't get Cade. We got Jalen. Cade's been injured. Then you look at the next year. Paolo Banchero balled out. I'm nothing bad to say. Shet got injured the whole year, and then Jabari had sparks of really good. Of what we needed, defense and athleticism and leadership.
And then look at the people who were taken after, like Ben Mathurin. He was like 8. Like he'd have been a good pickup for a lot of people. Yeah. Shaden Sharp, those kind of guys. So I'm good with it. But if you're gonna bring on another young dude like that, the Rockets need to trade some people. We need to get some of this youth off the team.
Yeah, I did hear there was a lot of teams like hoping the Rockets got the first pick. Because they wanted Sengun off of us once we got that pick. But all those teams.
The alternative is if we get Scoot, that could keep Harden off the team. So if you ask me Harden or Sengun, I'd rather have Sengun.
Well, Doc Rivers got fired, and we talked about that also, and he doesn't want to play with Doc. So it seems like they're going to try to do what they can to keep James.
I don't think they could get D'Antoni, though.
I keep seeing you said it yesterday, and I keep seeing that's who they want is D'Antoni.
Because that's a good narrative for Harden. The only issue to that is that's almost like a big fuck you to Embiid. Like, we're catering to Harden, not you.
Yeah. And it's funny because I look at Philly fans right now, and they're mad, of course, at Harden because he didn't do nothing, but they're pissed at like Joel Embiid. They're over there calling him like Carson Wentz and everything. Like,
like no, it is like he should be number 1 on their depth chart of getting criticism right now because you're the MVP.
Yeah.
Like
you
James, you and myself, we did a video right before the playoffs that said we want to see you take over. You don't have to win, but take it over. And you didn't do it. The chance was there and you didn't do it.
Yeah. And I mean,
and then number 2 would be Doc. Like you're just not a good coach to a lot of people. And so that's why you got fired.
It's like every time he's in a series, it's like, oh, no, here we go.
I'll give him the benefit of this, though. Like, there's a lot of coaches who can't take a team to game 7. He's got more than anybody. So you have to give him credit for that. But it's like, we've beat you in game 7s. We've come back down in series against you. Like, you don't make good in-game adjustments. You don't ride hot hands. And that's why you get fired.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like a trend. Especially when they lost, what was it, game 5, I think, or something, or 6, and
they should have won game 6. And then, you're going into the fourth quarter in a tight game with Jason Tatum yet to make a field goal. Yeah. And then he went the fuck off. And then he did it the next game. So they're telling you all for dropping the ball. I don't feel bad for Doc at all.
Nah.
I feel bad, though, if they hired D'Antoni.
Yeah. It feels like they're building the Rockets 2.0 over there every year, so it's fine. I guess for the point guards, because more than likely, if we don't get a point guard, they're going to trade that pick, it seems like. But I would say, I guess you're, like you said, one of the Thompson twins and then Scoot are the only ones at play. I mean, if you can get Scoot and pair him with Jalen Green, that backcourt is freaking nasty in an Ime Udoka thing. Would you entertain trading Charlotte to move up one if he's there?
It depends. This is not like football. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? Like
you give them like a player. Like,
you're talking because. No, I'm willing to give up some talent, but it's also like, is that it? Just pick swaps and a player?
Yeah, I'll give him Deshaun Nix and
No, seriously, like, I'll give you, if you're at number 2 and we're at 4, we're only moving up 2. We're gonna do a pick swap, and then I'll give you Jayshawn Tate, a playmaker.
Yeah. Josh
Christopher, probably. It might be to the extent, though, they would want like KPJ, though.
Yeah, especially if they're moving up that much, like.
But would you absolutely hate that idea?
No, because I get Scoot.
And then I still have Ty.
Yeah, let's be honest. Tari Easton's gonna play a major role next year in that, and you still have Ty. You still have, and you're gonna more than likely get some vets in this year. So it's
if the price is reasonable. The answer to your question is yes. I would entertain that idea.
Would you entertain trading out for a point guard, like a Halliburton or somebody else?
100%. I'm standing tall with what I said the other day. Take Jabari and Jalen and put them over here, and probably Tari Eason.
Yeah.
And of the pool of players in this pick, if I can get Halliburton, come on with it. Because they will leave me with the starting lineup of, at the very least, Halliburton, Jalen, Tari, Jabari. We need a center. Because I'm sure they're going to take Sengun.
Yeah.
I just don't want them to do something irrational and go try to trade for a point guard like Trae Young.
Oh, yeah, I don't want that.
But I don't know if I would necessarily hate that.
We've talked about it with Trae Young on those Atlanta videos we did, and you said it best. I don't think it's Trae Young's fault, but him and DeJounte are not a great fit. And so, like, with Trae, I mean, Trae in those New York playoff games, that dude's scary good.
I just think that Trae Young playing off of a player like Sengun, who's going to pass the ball out of a fixed spot and Trae can move, that would be good. Because I just don't know if I'd give up that 4th pick for him. And then 2, he's too close to getting paid. Like, I don't want to tie up money for when we have to pay our guys.
I think, man, it's going to be, it feels like it's going to be like how the NFL one was. I got to see what happens on the board. But I mean, with the NBA, it kind of seems like they already get their stuff set up. Like, hey, I'm going. All right, you got Victor. I'm getting this guy. Like, this is the guy I'm going after.
This draft would be so much better if you had another big man in the front of this draft not named Victor, because there's just a lot of 1, 2s, and 3s, and it's like, like what can you? I just think that like Brandon Miller would have to be the player to go to Portland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or Charlotte. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He has to be the one that goes there. So it's just like,
because it kind of, the point guard takes Scoot out of the first running, in my opinion. Like I could see him going to Portland. I really could see Scoot in Portland. Yeah. But I'm gonna bank on the fact that there's somebody else they might want.
I think Portland's second and then Charlotte's third, I think, is what the way the ball.
But regardless, they neither one need a point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so like that puts Brandon Miller in play ahead of Scoot to me.
Yeah, and from what all the projections are saying, he's number 2 because he's a big man. And you know how big men get in the NBA; they get all the love. And I mean, dude was SEC Player of the Year. So
now a scenario that makes me nervous is the team out there that does need a point guard. Say, for instance, like Orlando, who's got 2 picks, and they might hit up Portland and be like, "Hey, give me 3. I'll give you both of these first." They come up and take Scoot, and then I'm gonna be super fucking mad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I could see that. That man, that's it's gonna be a stressful,
especially considering they're like the 6th or 7th pick, so Portland's not moving down too far.
Yeah, and they're still getting quality player. They can get a Walker, they can get a few others. Oh man, I think for sure. I think I'm Victor, and then I just think Portland's not going to pass up on Miller. Dame with Miller,
like he had the incident with the gun, but they were talking about it at the lottery. Like all the GMs, they like love that dude, like the way the things he does. Like you take that away, he's kind of almost like a top tier prospect. So that's why I feel like whoever has number 2 has got to be Brandon Miller, in my opinion.
Yeah. So now it's 3 and 4. That's why I wanted 3, but I don't think Charlotte will pair. I mean, they're dumb, so I can't say they won't. But a Scoot and LaMelo thing just doesn't make sense on that team. You need other stuff on there, and I mean, that's why I just feel like if we could do a swap with them, cool. But if not, I mean, I feel at that point you lost out on Victor, so now. It kind of reminds me of like when Toronto went with Scotty Barnes and they just shook up the whole damn thing. And it's like, I'm going to go get who I need. And then y'all can figure the shit out afterwards because that's what I need right there. And I just feel that's what's going to happen. And then we still got like the combine and everything, all that for them.
That was a blessing in disguise, though, if you think about it, because they ended up taking Jalen Suggs, who sucked, which means the teams, he didn't suck, but he's not like top tier like them other guy. You know what I'm saying? So that ended up making them get Paolo. So if you told me, hey, I got Suggs and Paolo instead of Scotty Barnes, it was a blessing in disguise. Kind of like Houston. I still feel like in the Cade Cunningham draft, we got the best players so far. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I do.
I know there's a ton of people who are like, oh, no, Cade's still better. I was like, he hasn't even played. Like,
and Mobley,
even if he didn't, when he was playing, he wasn't doing crazy things. We talked about it that one year. It was like he had the games he played against Jalen, yeah, he did. But other than that, he was stagnant. He was hitting that rookie wall like crazy.
I'll say this. I'll entertain the conversation that Cade is better than Jalen, but to this point, he hasn't done anything to set himself apart from Jalen at all.
No. Like you can argue the Paulo Banchero and
Jabari 100%
thing, 100%. Paulo took off. But that's the thing, like the other one, you can't. I mean, let's be honest. There's been series of weeks where Jalen was like, I'm taking over. And that was as we know now, without real coaching. It was just street ball out there. Like, and so I
also want to say that the Paolo Jabari conversation is incomplete because we don't know how good Chet is.
True. Yeah, I mean, luckily for OKC, they have a top pick coming back. But I mean, we're gonna find out. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Luckily, we don't have to wait that long. It's in.
Let me ask you this: what if Charlotte said, "We will make the trade with you to go from 3 to 4"?
Yeah.
But we want Sengun.
It's like I don't mind trading him, but I don't know if I want to trade him for that. Like I feel like there's better value for him.
So would you make that trade if they offered you a player back in return?
Who the hell do I want from there? Like
I mean, I can think of they're gonna offer you somebody like Gordon Hayward to dump a contract or Kelly Oubre, but I'm still gonna ask for a player like Kai Jones because then I have a starting center.
Yeah, like as much as people are on the Sengun train, and we don't say we hate him, but we know that's our biggest chip, and that's one thing we're always going to talk about. Whatever our biggest trade chip is, that's what we're going to focus on. And man, it's like I don't hate the trade if I get Scoot because now you have arguably one of the best backcourts in basketball if you hit the talents there. But it's like I don't know. Like, would I just want to risk it? And I mean, because they could. I just want Scoot with Jalen now, like, and I feel that's a possibility. And
well, here's the thing, then is like you have to decide. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, you don't know how good Scoot is going to be, and I know how good Sengun is, so I'm hesitant to make the trade. So now the question becomes: is like, do I want Scoot, or am I willing to take Amen Thompson because he's the point guard of the two brothers, and I'm almost positive if we stay at 4 and Scoot's gone already, we're gonna probably draft him.
We need a point guard, and you
have to like you have to get a point guard because that's all we talk about, and I just don't see any center there worth taking.
Nah, and I mean, luckily for us, losing out of Victor, the position we do need is going to be available there. Like that's the lucky thing about it is all right. We need a point guard. We can get a point guard, a young point guard, a talented point guard. Now Scoot is above Thompson, but I mean, I wouldn't be mad at either one of them if we're being 100% honest.
It could even be to the extent where they believe Jabari could play the 5, and they're going to keep Sengun at the 5, and they go small, and we get the other Thompson twin. Like he's a bucket getter.
Yeah, I know. Like as the weeks go on, now once, especially after the night when the Victor stuff blows over and all the teams start looking like, all right, like I said, we pretty much agree. Portland has to go Brandon Miller. Then after that, it's Charlotte and us. And that's when it begins the real draft, it seems, of, okay, what are you going? What am I getting? And I mean, we're going to end up hearing a lot. I'm sure. Raphael, one thing is he's not scared of talking on the phone and trading and stuff. And it seems like Ime, I mean, he looked pissed as hell, so I was kind of happy. But it's just like, I want to know what they're going to do when how they're going to set this up, because they're saying this is the next phase, which it's starting with Ime getting signed. It feels like they're going into that. So what does that mean though, as a Rockets, fan for us? Like,
I wonder the same thing. All I can say is I know in my heart that Scoot Henderson is an Ime guy. Like he looks like a guy that would play for Ime.
Dude, fucking.
I told you yesterday he's Marcus Smart on nitrous.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's who we're getting. I just feel it. It's kind of like when with the NFL, we kept saying we want Bryce, but we have a feeling we're getting CJ, and we just kept saying that. Like we were keeping the hope there, but it feels like that's our guy. Like he just fits us. And
the basketball gods gave us what we wanted last year because we kept saying we wanted Jabari. We ended up with 3, settled on Paolo, and still got Jabari. So shit has a funny way of working out our way.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. And I mean, all in all, Victor, when they hyped the last person they hyped up, and I don't care what they say, they hyped this guy up just like this was Zion.
Yeah.
And yeah, we see how that's been. And
so
they try to hide it, but it's like, no, we remember.
When we were reading the shit about the maybe being rigged earlier, I can only think of one reason for sure why I know this is not a rigged draft. If they were trying to rig it to make Victor look good, you would not put him in the Western Conference.
No.
because
Especially-
he'd have a better path going against the centers in the East.
And I also had to think, like, once I took a step back, I thought about it, and I'm like they were asking him, like, what are you gonna do with the San Antonio Spurs this season? He's like, oh, I'm like, bro, let's be realistic. That roster is trash. Like, it has some good players, don't get me wrong, but compared in what's in the West,
yes.
Nah, I don't.
I'll say this: you have a really good young starting 3-4-5 on that team.
Yeah,
and then you got Malachi Branham, but I think he might be best suited as a 6-man. So you got to get some guards on that team before y'all can compete. You know what I mean? I think you really need a point guard on that team that makes shots easier for Victor.
Yeah. Well, Rockets, I guess let us know, man, who you want, who you think we're getting. Of course, everybody wanted Victor, but now the point guard war is on.
The drama for Wembanyama is over.
Now the drama for our point guard of Scoot. I mean, I'm not mad if we get him. I'm kind of hyped seeing him and Jalen. Like you said, he's a Ime Udoka guy. It fits perfectly. It seems to be what we've been doing, getting our coaches their players that they want. Let's keep the trend in Houston going.
This is the most selfish question we've ever asked on CB. This does not reflect the opinions of anybody else on SLG Network, but I'm going to ask you a serious question, because you and I talked about it off camera about how it might be a little bit gratifying in football if Bryce Young gets hurt on account of he's too little. Is there going to be a little bit of chuckle deep down if Victor gets hurt because he's too big?
They did say that that's the only downfall of him is he has to. And I mean, if you've been to a basketball game, like, and you've watched it like close up, you see how rough and tough it is. Like, all the jokes aside of 90s basketball stuff, these dudes are elbowing each other, kneeing each other, all types of little pulls and all that stuff. And I mean, we look at centers that he's gonna be going up against. I mean, he's got some big dudes to go up against. Like,
me and my brother had this argument the other day, and it's like, look, Victor's highlights are good. They're about as good as I've ever seen. One highlight of Victor I've never seen him guard the post, like take a bang. Like, what are you gonna do when the Joker does it?
I was about to say, you got a Joker. You're gonna have to go up against Anthony Davis,
Embiid. But even like bigger guys, like, I mean, what are you going to do when Nurkic bangs into you? What are you going to do when Sengun bangs into you? What are you going to do?
Even Adams, and when he comes back to Memphis,
exactly.
And he's over there, that dude's a big dude. I mean, you got guys that are literally like grown men out there, and I mean, Victor's arms are this size. Like,
now, don't get me wrong, he's already got a built-in bodyguard on that team in Jeremy Sochan, but he can't save you in the middle of a game.
Nah. I mean, he's gonna get blessed for sure against the Joker, if we're being honest. Like, Joker gonna bless you, bro. Like, that's gonna happen for sure.
I wish you well, though, Victor.
Yeah, no, I wish you. I'm glad you ended up if you were ending up not on our team, I'm glad you went to San Antonio, because I was like, please do not put him in Charlotte. That would be terrible for him.
That'd be a biggest waste of talent.
Yes, that would be terrible. I don't care what they do. That team does not know how to be run at all. I didn't want him in Portland, even though they have Dame. I feel like it's too big of a gap. We've talked about it where Dame's kind of on the descending and Victor is the new person.
Well, I'd be really pissed off if I was Victor and I ended up in Portland and then they traded Dame. Because I'm 1,000% sure they would make him more available if you had Victor.
Oh, yeah. Because you got more leeway now. The fans are like, oh, it's fine. We got our new guy. I mean, he ends up with Greg Popovich for maybe another year or so. We'll see. But
we're good.
Yeah. But Houston, let us know who you want. We're on the Scoot train now. Let's get the Scoot going.
Can we have 2 Scoots on one team, though?
Yes, we have 2 Scooters.
We got Scoot.
I said we're going to make a shirt like that. All right, Houston, y'all be safe, have fun, and let's get ready for NBA Draft Day.
Peace.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.